I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have participated in Innovation Academy this year. It is really a privilege to learn from world experts in various areas like AI and innovation and the business side of medicine.
The Innovation and Entrepreneurship curriculum has afforded me personal growth from having the perspective of a clinician researcher to that of a clinician innovator.
I came to realize that innovation isn't just about technology or systems. It's about how we approach problems, improve care, and reimagine what's possible for our patients.
I think a lot of skills are transferable between being a physician and being an entrepreneur or being an innovator. But what you lack is the toolkit that you need to take the good ideas that you have on a daily basis and actually do something with those ideas.
I think the most impactful part has been learning about all of the resources that we have right here at Mayo that I wasn't aware that existed.
I think this training has really helped me gain a better understanding of how innovation can intersect with medicine, and really the logistics behind how to take these ideas and make them a reality.
What I learned during the innovation curriculum is an appreciation for the idea and how to make it.
I was able to not only learn from medical innovators, but also those within the business and manufacturing spaces as well.
The most impactful part of the Academy for me was learning from experts in the field of the patent process, as I'm planning to submit several patents from my research.
In this course, when I realized that inventing a device is not adequate, rather to learn and then apply the process of ideation to marketing a device and then improving outcomes of our patient is all about innovation.
The perspective I gained with visiting the different companies and seeing how healthcare innovation really works helped me shape my vision of how to implement my clinical expertise into a practice like Mayo Clinic.
I used to think that innovation was just about new technologies, but I've learned it's really about approaching problems with an innovator's mindset, seeing unmet needs as opportunities rather than limitations, and sometimes making small, high-impact improvements.
One of the biggest takeaways for me was just how complex and expensive it is to bring a new drug or device to market. Now I approach things with a lot more perspective, and I have learned the importance of knowing your limits, staying flexible, and maybe most importantly, surrounding yourself with the right people.
I think the biggest moment that something clicked with me was the realization of why the business side is important when trying to get involved within innovation in medicine. It's that idea of your idea not being able to help people unless it's ultimately financially viable and has a defined market.
I've always focused on mostly clinical knowledge in my training, which I still believe to be the foundation. And once you've got enough clinical knowledge, then you can move on to the next stage and using that knowledge to think of ideas that can take your clinical skills further and making a greater impact on more patients beyond those just in your direct care.
The Academy for Innovation and Entrepreneurship is an excellent program for somebody that is curious, motivated, and a team player.
The Academy has taught me an enormous amount about medical innovation and entrepreneurship, from taking an idea, turning it into a business plan, seeking funding for that plan, and submitting that to the regulatory authorities for approval. I've learned an enormous amount about the whole process behind taking an idea and turning it into something that can help patients.
One of my favorite parts of the Innovation Academy were the field trips that we took to Minneapolis to some of the leading med tech companies in the nation, and got to talk to some of the leaders who are pioneering the technologies that we will see in our clinics and hospitals in the future.
What stood out most was learning to slow down, as clinicians were used to solving problems quickly. But this forced me to pause and make sure that the need is real and well understood before jumping to solutions.
This training has taught me that the process of innovation in medicine is complex, and that the most successful innovators have both impressive medical knowledge as well as insight into the gap their future creations will address.
When I first began this course, I had zero formal innovation or business training, and now have a decent foundation in which to grow in any innovation space I desire, whether that be in the device, IP, or business structure spaces.
I really learned what innovation really means. It's always meeting that unmet need that it's needed out there. So even though there's something that's already been implemented or already in the market,
how can you make things better?
The most impactful thing I've learned in the Academy this year was anything is achievable with the right connections, expert guidance, and the willingness to adapt when plans go off track.
Learning from those from Mayo Clinic that have innovated and then were able to implement and be successful has been an outstanding experience.
The most important thing that I learned was to develop this innovation mindset and how we can all think like an innovator to identify unmet needs, testing assumptions in iterative fashions, and navigating through the journey from ideation all the way to real-world solution and commercialization.
The most impactful lesson I learned is that innovation is not just about having a great idea. It's about understanding the problem, careful business planning, and disciplined execution.
Now I have a toolbox of resources and professional contacts. More importantly, I have developed a knowledge base I needed, and through that, the confidence I needed to help push my project forward.